Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial. My name is Rico, and today we're going to talk about how to create distance in sound, how to simulate faraway object, sound within each other. So let's have a look. Okay, so here we have our demo, and I'm going to just play it.
This tower may have been a communications tower, part of a network running along the North African coast by which signal bonfires were used to communicate messages of state.
So basically, on the left channel, we have a recording of sea waves, pretty much recorded very close with the microphone. So the person that was recording the sea waves was really close to the sea with the microphone. So the sound of the sea sound really
may have been
close. And the second channel on the right side, we have a speech by Carl Sagan.
This tower may have been a communications tower, part of a...
So is a speech piece taken from a TV show by Carl Sagan, the famous American astronomer and astrophysics. Now the sound of the sea wave sound really, really close and is almost louder than Carl Sagan's voice.
This tower.
So I want to make the sound of the sea wave sound more distant. Now you will thinking, the first thing that comes to the mind of everyone to create distance, you just lower the volume, but it's not sufficient. There is other things that you have to take in consideration, which we're going to talk about later on, because that's going to be part of the old school method of how to do this. But we're going to focus on this one. So this is a free Max for Live device called ML.Distance, which you can download for free, and I will put a link in the description. So basically, this device creates distance automatically. So by just moving the yellow dot, you are further away from the center. You are creating the distance, and as you can see, the dot is getting smaller as I'm going further away. And it's not just creating distance. It's not just creating this feeling of lowering the volume, but it's also cutting off the frequencies, because basically the way sound travels through space, through territories, the higher frequencies are the frequencies that are afflicted by the traveling of the space. So if for example, I'm shouting at you and I am really far away from you, you will hear my voice a bit more muffled. So basically, during the travel, the sound is losing frequencies and is losing the power. So you will hear my voice in different ways. So what is doing this plugin is exactly this. I'm gonna just play the sound of the sea waves, and I'm gonna make it going far away. So you can hear that not only the volume is decreasing, but also the high frequencies are attenuated. Also, this plugin has more other options. You can also work on the stereo image, so that by going far away is getting less stereo, but more narrowed, more mono, let's say. Then we have the width, which is basically the width of the stereo image. The smoothness of how much do you want the attenuation of the high frequencies, or if you want like very, very strong attenuation. You can also bass frequencies as well. You can also attenuate not only the bass frequencies, but the medium as well. So you can do a much more distant than you can high dump. It's basically the damping of the high frequencies. And so on and so on. So basically, all those knobs are optimizing the distance. So let's try now with our voice of Carl Sagan, and let's make the sound of the sea waves more further away.
This tower may have been a communications tower, part of a network running along the North African coast by which signal bonfires were used to communicate messages of state.
Yes, so now...
Also may have been used as a lighthouse.
The sound of the sea wave is much more further away, so it sounds like if the sea is on its back and pretty much far away.
This tower may have been a communications tower, part of a network running along the North African coast.
Yeah, that's perfect.
By which signal
If I just switch off the plugin,
were used to communicate messages of state.
super close,
It also
distance.
may have been used as a lighthouse, a navigational.
So that's the Max for Live plugin that is very useful, and it's much more easy to do like this than using probably the old school way of creating distance, which I'm going to show you, which requires basically two plugins, the equalizer and the reverb. So let's go with the equalizer first. As I was saying before, the sound that travels through space loses energy while it's traveling to the space. So when it comes to the destination, it will arrive in a much more transformed way, more muffled, without high frequencies, and also some of the medium frequencies and of the bass frequencies will be attenuated as well. So by creating this impression, you using an equalizer. So here we have the sound of the sea, and I'm just going to roll off the high frequencies, maybe with a different slope. A bit of the low frequencies as well. And also working on the medium frequencies. And also trying to increase the tightness of the bell. Let's play with the voice.
Lived a man named Eratosthenes. One of his envious contemporaries called him.
And obviously you can use
the Greek alphabet.
You can use also the volume. It's not that the volume is not supposed to be used.
This tower may have been a communications tower, part of a network running along the North African coast.
So if I switch off the equalizer now,
were used to communicate messages of state. It also may have been used as a lighthouse, a navigational.
Yes. So like this, I created the distance. You can tell that I attenuated a lot of frequencies in order to create this perceivedness of the sea waves in the background. Second thing is to use a reverb. Now, when someone records something in a room on the seaside, there is already an actual reverb of the recording. But in our case, we're using reverb to create furthermore distance, but also to sit down well in the mix.
This tower may
in this case, the reverb of Ableton Live, I have to say, it's not the most accurate reverb out there, but it's still okay in order to place the mix in sitting properly in the mix.
This tower.
So if I just solo the C side, just gonna put a bit louder. You obviously don't want a cathedral reverb type. You don't want like a huge decay time. You want like a very small one. You just want to basically opening the stereo width with the reverb and make it sitting in the mix a bit better.
Alexandria at that time, there lived a man named Eratosthenes. One of his envious contemporaries called him Beta, the second letter of the Greek alphabet, because he said Eratosthenes was.
So now let's try to compare my distance creation against the one from Max for Live. So I'm just gonna quickly resize them, both of them, and just is already okay. And just press 0 in order to switch them off fast. So now it's the C side without nothing.
This tower
now with my
may have
distance.
been a communications tower, part of a network running along.
And now we're gonna try the Max for Live.
Coast, by which signal bonfires were used to communicate messages of state. It also may have been used as a lighthouse, a navigational beacon for sailing ships out there in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, so the Max for Live distance has created a more refined distance. So let's just play solo. That's the Max for Live. Then I'm gonna put my own. Yeah, so the Max for Live distance has cut off much more the brighter frequencies, but yeah, more or less it's quite close the result, I would say. So yeah, that's the ML.Distance, a free plugin for Max for Live that create distance, and like in music production, there is not so much need of creating distance between sounds. This is mostly a film sound design technique that you can use, and also for ADR. But nevertheless, there will be some moments in your life where probably you have a voice and you are mixing your voice with your track, and you want the voice to sound a bit more distant because you want to make a choir, or you can make the drum more distant compared to the sound of the guitar. So you can really be creative and use it also in music domain and not only in film sound design. So yeah, thanks for everything. Please like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.